Hello everyone and welcome to today's Stocks and Crypto YouTube Charts video. I am No FOMO Charts. Today is February 7, 2026. It's Saturday, just around 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time at night. Welcome everyone. This is a swing trading and investing YouTube Charts channel. Let's get started with upcoming stock earnings releases. We have Coca-Cola, Spotify, Robinhood, McDonald's, Coinbase, CVS, Airbnb as well. Economic data. We have retail sales, core retail sales, unemployment rate, CPI, core CPI, and unemployment claims as well. Recent news, essentially price volatility. Mixed tech earnings contributed to stock market volatility and other bearish news out of the US and global. PayPal, AMD, Amazon, mixed earnings as well. Crypto market capitulation flash crash and then the rebound bounce in both crypto and stocks. That was also correlated with earnings and bearish sentiment. Let's begin with stocks. Let's start off with SPY, S&P 500 ETF. So after the majority of earnings has passed, we are still consolidating to the side of price. Our resistance zone is still 696, and our support zone, which we just bounced off of, 675. That measured move of this range, support to resistance, is about 3%. So until we have a meaningful break above 696.48, I'm expecting we could go to 717, especially if we break above 700 resistance. And if we fall down, way down here, if it's extremely bearish for next month or so, then we could go down further to 656. Those are the two medium-term trading targets. We are stuck consolidating for now. On the weekly chart, there is not a large double top or any extreme warning price pattern. On a 4-hour chart, we had that oversold bounce. I highlight in the yellow circle. That's why sometimes stochastic and RSI on an hourly or a 4-hour could signal some type of short-term oversold area. 15-minute, it happened overnight as well. So the Asia session into the Europe session, and we could see in a 15-minute chart, actually, even turning off all the indicators on S&P 500 ETF, there was this type of upside down head and shoulders action that was correlated with Bitcoin, in my opinion, and sentiment. Let's go to NASDAQ ETF, QQQ. Very similar. We're still going sideways in the price, generally long term. Stuck below 636. Our support level short term right now is above 598. So the middle point, somewhere around 616, could be the next level of resistance. No meaningful extreme reaction until we break above 635 on a daily chart. We will know if we're in trouble on a weekly chart if this actually turns into some kind of triple top or quadruple top around 627, and then we could drop down to 588. So we're still in this range going sideways for now. 4-hour chart, very similar to SPY. We had that stochastic RSI oversold on the 4-hour and 1-hour, multiple bottom here. So there was that relief bounce. Dow Jones breakout. Gotta love it. DIA ETF breakout above 495 level, and it went to 501, the highest price of all time. Weekly chart was not showing any warning signs of that's extreme. There's no double top. If we crash down to 488, then we have a bearish problem. But That did not happen. We were actually consolidating inside of a secret 4-hour ascending triangle where the measured move down here was supposed to be 3%. We didn't actually go 3%. The very conservative move of the 1.8%, we almost hit that. So this is ETF. The market's closed right now. But still, we went from hourly oversold. That was one of the secret keys. We could still keep going higher long term if we're going to hit that 3.5% target, the upside target here. 512. See if we get there. Let's go to IWM. ETF. What I like about this particular chart is high, low, high, made a higher low. Stochastic RSI was oversold. Then I drilled down. 4-hour oversold. 1-hour oversold. It just happened at a really strange time. Very, very late. 6 p.m., 9 p.m. Eastern. So that was like a Bitcoin reaction. Quickly, let's do gold and silver as well. So when I have something parabolic like this, sometimes I like to go to the bottom or the start of 2025 just as a starting point. Put my Fibonacci up. I could also use an anchored VWAP at the start of a year, 2025. So we could see once we really broke out in August 2025, that's when gold really took off. Also, we had another breakout above 405, 404. So we are way above anchored VWAP, obviously, and it's extreme trend, even above that first deviation. We're in the second deviation zone now. Pull up in some pivots. It's actually above the pivot point, gold on a daily. Holding that 236 level, which was about on the GLD ETF 438. So if we're actually going to have a reaction here, stochastic oversold. 4-hour stochastic not oversold. But we could actually make a higher low. So it looks like we're actually going to consolidate to the side or even potentially have a pullback into a breakout attempt. All I'm going to do is draw a simple trend line and we can see the symmetrical triangle forming in yellow. Zoom in, a plus or minus 9%. I'm going to be conservative and only do 4%. 473 could be that upside target. If it's really bad, it can come down to 431 on GLD. And those are the two targets. But just beware that if I go, the shorter term I go in, it's probably looking like it's overbought. So what it seems like on my chart analysis that's going to happen is we might get a pullback. Any bearish news, we get a pullback down to 441 level. And then bulls are going to have to try to defend 441 above that pivot point. 449, 441 zone. The intraday pivot. See if we could get that bounce going on. Silver is different. Not the saving grace silver lining that we wanted in this market. 2025, all the way to the top here. We bounced off the 50% retrace level using anchored VWAP as well. Very parabolic, got rejected down from the second deviation roof, which was about $81. Pivot points as well. The pivot's way up here at $83. We're at S1 pivot point. So sometimes when it looks like we're on the backside of this trade, it's not uptrending anymore. There is some kind of strange head and shoulders pattern that if we get rejected again below $72, we could crash down pretty severely. But probably what's going to happen is the momentum that everyone's staring at is there's actually 4-hour bullish momentum divergence. Double low RSI, squeeze, yellow histogram. It's not a squeeze yet, but I can see some bullish momentum. So as long as we stay above $61, which is a very 12% range to stay above, as long as we stay above, let's say $65, then there's actually a chance we could upside down head and shoulders rally once maybe we have one more pullback and then we try to rally over time. But that's looking very interesting to me now. Back when it was just one fake or one dead cat bounce into a double top, that's not so interesting to me. But now it's looking more bullish in the medium term for a bounce. Quickly, price of oil consolidating into a symmetrical triangle. There's that short-term resistance zone above, I would say, like the 78 level. Want to watch out that we're not going to reject secretly down from that on bad news, because if the support does not hold, we can come down to $75 on oil. Natural gas. This is what I'm saying. Silver was not this bad, but sometimes if it gets oversold and we get a bullish divergence, we get some kind of pop to the upside. So silver is building it on the 4 hour. Once it happens on a daily, somebody might play that. But UNG getting rejected below 1423 resistance. We actually lost this trend line, which is kind of a bad sign. On this 4 hour, the daily chart, it looks like it actually having one more leg down to me. That's just to my eyes. If it comes down, downside target 1267 to $12 to check the intraday for the exact precision. So we might pull back on in the early morning, 5-minute 15, but the hourly is oversold. That's good. 4 hours in neutral. So it looks like we're probably going to pull back, retest, and then bulls are going to try one more time. That's what it looks like. Okay, let's switch over to crypto for about 10 minutes or so. Crypto, we had a capitulation crash. I see people on social media and the internet and social media networks saying, why is this happening to crypto? Why is Bitcoin going down? Why? What is happening? Very simply, from the price chart of Bitcoin and crypto, this is total crypto market cap, is we were already downtrending. Lower low, lower high price. Lower low, lower high price. Lower low. Technically, we were death crossed. Down death crossed since November 21, 2025. Bearish earnings in this entire zone, actually in this zone of January to February. Clarity Act, the government law bill relating to crypto, was delayed. We're hitting resistance in the market. So if I draw a simple support to resistance box, the measured move was 15%. We're already in a death cross going down. 15% downside breakout. We definitely hit that target. We're right below that right now. 15% was 2.42 trillion. We went all the way down, negative 25%. I do want to point out that this price action directly echoes, reminds me of 2022 price action. Let me circle it in blue. For instance, we had this topping action at an all-time high. We pull back downtrend. We attempt to have a bounce. It fails and crashes. Back in November 2021, the same thing happened. We hit the all-time high of 2.79, which was about $70,000 Bitcoin. We downtrended. We attempted to have a rally bounce, crash below the support. And we could have we have a little small bounce right now. I'll talk about that. We could have a little small bounce. We could crash a little more, but I don't think we're at the bottom of Bitcoin yet. We're at a relative bounce bottom, relative trade bottom. But if we're talking about strategies for crypto, Bitcoin trading, once I have a golden up cross, I trade that up until the death cross. We have a golden up cross and then a bearish death cross. Up cross to death cross, rejection down. The only strategy I could have played in this particular case was an oversold extreme Bollinger Band capitulation crash, which we finally got there. It went lower than my target. Remember, I was targeting 70,000 last time. Actually went down to 62,000. And if we drill down into the time frames, what was that secret setup? 4-hour low stochastic, 4-hour low RSI, 1 hour. It was over here. Over here, meaning it was $63,000 Bitcoin, low stochastic multiple times, low RSI, even drilled down further, 15-minute oversold. And then if I even go to 5-minute, 2-minute day trading, there was a double bottom over there in the RSI. But trying to time that perfectly, people got stopped out. That's why the red candle down there was so violent. And then intraday, we're starting to have some golden crosses, which is nice, except it's the weekend right now, and people are going to watch the Super Bowl, American football game tomorrow on Sunday. So I'm expecting liquidity to just kind of reduce. But if we don't rally above 71 to 70,000, we actually could have a problem here. We just want to make sure, because as we go back to longer term trading or medium term, we're still in the death cross of 15-minute Bitcoin. We're still downtrending here. Just have a little relief bounce. Hourly, we're still definitely in the down cross. So if we don't, again, rally above this blue point, 71,000, we could slowly reject. If anything bad happens in the market, then I'm looking for maybe a double bottom, upside down head and shoulders, trend change reversal. We could pull back, and if we stay above 64,000, maybe we get some upside. But looking at long-term weekly charts, we just tapped that 200 EMA, which is good. We know we will be in big trouble on crypto, and this is very correlated as well. We crashed, bounced off the 50 for a moment, crash, bounce off the 100 for a moment, couple weeks, months, crash. We're holding above the 200 for the first time. This happened back in 2022. Crash, bounce off 50, crash, bounce off 100, crash, bounce off the 200 just a little bit for 1 month, and then crash again. So that's why in a couple months, if we're going to copy paste this and paste it here, that entire spot took 266 days to finish before we resumed the uptrend. It took literally 500 days. It took 1 year to golden up cross. So if that mysterious crypto predictor trader who predicted and said Bitcoin goes up for 1,000 days bull and then pulls back down for about something like 400 days down for 1 year, that actually is true. That came true. That's basically from 2022. We did crash. We crashed for 1 year, and then we went up for almost 1,000 days. Literally, it's kind of scary. And then we pulled back. It's only been 140 days. 365 days would push us to maybe we'll have a recovery rally that's serious in the end of this year, 2026. So even if we bounce, we can have a meaningful bounce. Yes, definitely we can do that. But it needs to sustain on buy volume. Right now we have huge red volume the first time. So they might not be the bottom is all I'm saying. Okay. I have to over-explain that because when people start trading crypto, sometimes they forget big price structure, and then we're looking at just one green candle, which is not enough. I don't want to discourage people. So let me rewind for a second. Bitcoin from all-time high, it was down 50%, and then we bounced 6%. Ethereum from one of the all-time highs, we were down 63 to 60 to 57, negative 57%. XRP from its all-time high, we're down negative 60%. Solana from its previous all-time high closing, we're down negative 66%. So I'm interested in buying because the last time that happened, we crashed down negative 60%, but the market turned around. If the market's not going to turn around this time, we have a large head and shoulders, this could be a very bad altcoin season. And I'm not including the little bounce we could get. We're still downtrending right now. Until we get a serious trend change reversal, I'm not going to be bullish. I've made that mistake many times. or several times in the past, where trying to time the bottom or play like a big momentum is, if I want to have a higher win rate, is wait for a big support pattern, wait for a like a double bottom, multiple bottom, and then the first signs of an uptrend. Then that's one of the safest spots to buy. Right now is one of the most dangerous times to buy because it's downtrending and it crashed hard. It could be a relative bottom, but if I'm disciplined, I need to wait for that multiple bottom or trend change reversal. So that's why I'm not going to go too in depth on a lot of altcoins right now. I'll just give big picture on Bitcoin cryptos. Let's zoom in on Ethereum for a second. Are we high stochastic or low stochastic 4 hour? We're high stochastic 4 hour, medium 1 hour, kind of fading down 5-minute 15. So we're still trying to maintain a 15-minute uptrend. So we need to stay above 2050 if somebody's thinking short term right now. On a 15-minute, we did sort of have an intermediate trend change. Very subtle. But if I'm looking at that longer term, it's different. If we go to XRP USD, very similar. We're crashing, recovery, V-shaped recovery, and then slowly just barely hanging them on above the 141 support level on a 15-minute. Solana, very similar. That's why I'm not giving up completely. Downtrended, V-shaped bounce, higher low potential, symmetrical triangle going sideways right now. So day traders are going to have to initiate which way are we going on that 5-minute 15 when Monday comes. Now, I do want to warn people that in America, there's a lot of news coming out probably in the next week or so. There's other international political issues that's happening right now. I'm just going to keep it simple for me, for stocks and crypto. And we'll end here. What is the trend of whatever asset am I looking at? What is the trend? Are we uptrending, making higher highs and higher lows over time? Are we consolidating, going sideways, stuck between a trading range? Or are we downtrending in the price right now? Medium to long term, you are correct. We are, if you guessed this, we're downtrending if you chose this answer. So for me, if I'm trying to minimize losses, I can see there's momentum building, but it's not ready to explode yet to the upside. Only thing is I like that we're low RSI. So it's close. I'm just going to say that. It's very close to my buy spot. It's just if we happen to crash more, then I'm definitely going to buy some more there. If we start to go up or sideways, then I might buy some to build the position. And if we really start rallying, then I'll start sizing in again. But never try to catch a falling knife, even though that happened right here. I like the hammer candle closing out. I like we held support, but we're still below that pivot point. The super trend, sometimes I like just putting that on. It's red on a daily. We're not in a green super trend right now. EMAs are death crossed on a lot of things. So maybe the only bullish thing I could say on crypto is maybe there might be a squeeze or momentum continuation after another pullback attempt for 15-minute, 1 hour. Okay, everyone, that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video or learned something, consider subscribing, hit the like button, click the notification bell, and I will see you in the next video.